Good afternoon, Franklin Township. This is PJ Parker reporting to you live from St. Matthias on St. Francis Day, where we are celebrating animals in various contexts. And I have today here with me Kira Wright from the Somerset County Office of Emergency Management in conjunction with the American Kennel Club, discussing and showing what is capable of being done for pet disaster relief. Kira, would you like to give us a little bit of an overview and then tell us what is contained in here and how you are actually helping pets in evacuation situations or disasters or other emergencies where pets are often the last thing that is considered part of the evacuation process, which is heinous, but editorially speaking, I'm going to turn it over to you now before I just go on and on. This is Kira Wright, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you. So I'm part of the Office of Emergency Management. We are a Somerset County Animal Response Team, also known as Somerset County CART, and what we are here today is to basically get people to think about what to do in case of an emergency. An emergency could be anywhere from a fire in the neighborhood to a train derailment to an actual natural disaster like a hurricane or an earthquake. And a lot of times when you are told to evacuate, you only have a matter of minutes to evacuate. So what we try to do is we do a lot of outreach where we tell people, you know, do you have a plan in case you do have to evacuate from your home? And if you do you have what you need for your dog or your cat or your hamster or anything like that? And what we have here today is actually our trailer, which is one of our trailers that we will roll out if there is a disaster and people do have to evacuate. You cannot bring your animal to a human shelter, so that's where we actually come in, because not far from the human shelter will be set up, and will be set up strictly for the animals. So we are not a shelter. We do not transport animals. We do not adopt animals out. We are strictly so that if you needed to go to a human shelter and you were bringing your animal with you, you'd bring your animal to us. You can still come take care of them. You still feed them. You still walk them, everything you need to do. But while you're dealing with the disaster, you know that your animal is going to be safe in your home, you know, not at home.
Wow, that's sensational. Is this a separate facility, and can people go there directly, or do they have to contact you first, or what's the process?
Wherever the disaster is going to be, if they were to go to the human shelter would not allow them in with the animal. But what they would tell them is that they could bring them to the CART team. And the CART team will be set up in a separate location, usually within walking distance of the shelter. Mm-hmm. And what we would do is we would be in a building, and that's where this trailer would come in. So we would actually pull up to a building, we would unload the trailer, and we have enough kennels in our trailer to do over 70 plus animals in the trailer. So we would actually roll the trailer out, line the walls of the hallway, and set up a portable shelter where the animals would be taken care of and cared for. And we have everything we need to take care of them for up to close to 7 days or longer if we need to.
Wow. I'm so thrilled and so impressed by this. Wow. It kind of takes my breath away a little bit. What are some of the things that you would encourage people to do before they get to that position? Now, we've been very blessed in this last spate of hurricanes and natural disasters that here in Somerset County it hasn't affected us directly, but we all remember Hurricane Sandy and several hurricanes prior to that where this was very much a reality to deal with. And I see there are cat and dog checklists for evacuation purposes. I would suggest, I'm sure you would suggest, this is something that's essential for every pet parent and pet family to have as a ready kit checklist, just to have that ready to go. God forbid something happens, it's ready to go. You pick it up, take your animal, and go. That you're not scrambling at the last second to try to get the necessities all together, which I assume also includes any medical records. What would you suggest, Kira?
Planning. A lot of planning. You know, it's something as simple as we recommend, the Office of Emergency Management recommends having an emergency to go bag for yourself and for your family. So every person in your house should have one bag with essential of at least 3 days worth of supplies for you to survive outside of your house. We recommend the same exact thing for each of your animals. So each animal should have an emergency to go bag. An emergency to go bag will have at least 3 days worth of food, toys, leashes, collars, because God forbid they need another leash or collar and something happens, but also things like an updated picture of your pet, something to identify your pet. If your pet's microchipped, having the microchip information. God forbid your animal gets away from you, at least we'll be able to identify that that animal is yours. updated vaccine records, because if your animal does end up with a shelter, we're most likely going to have to vaccinate the animals, especially if, God forbid, the animal were to bite somebody. You have proof that the animal doesn't have rabies because you have the animal vaccinated. And also a contact list, an emergency contact list. Having somebody, if something happens to you, you know, who's the next person who could take your animal and be responsible for your animal or make the decisions that your animal might need. So all those type of things should be in your emergency to go bag. Also, any medications. If your animal is diabetic, you should have the diabetic medication that might be in it. If you end up in a shelter situation, there is a possibility that you will not be with your veterinarian. Another veterinarian might see your animal. So having information about your animal's medical history will also be extremely useful.
Absolutely. The key is obviously being prepared. Now, I did see at your demonstration table there were portable lists of people able to take the actual checklist with them. Where can somebody get a copy of these checklists and any other information that's pertinent to this so that they have it before the fact?
They can actually go right to Somerset County's website, which is, I believe it's somersetcounty.org, and right on it, there will actually be all information about Somerset County CART. All of our checklists, all of our information can actually be gotten right off of the OEM's website.
That's perfect. Right now, I would like to take a little tour of what this van is all about. Karen, would you just walk us through what's contained in here?
So this past year, we were actually benefited that the American Kennel Club, in conjunction with the Somerset County Office of Emergency Management and several other clubs throughout this county, actually donated this van to the Somerset County Office of Emergency Management. And in this trailer, we have everything we need to set up a shelter for at least 70 animals. I say at least 70 animals because we can actually house more than that.
Well, Franklin Township, after a slight little technological blip of a few seconds, we're back here speaking with Kira Wright from the Somerset County Office of Emergency Management concerning pet disaster relief and how you can safely evacuate and prepare for evacuation and emergency management of your animals in case of a disaster. Again, Kira, we are outside of the van, which I have no idea what's inside of it and what it does and what you can do in it. So if we can walk maybe over there, and you can just kind of give us a thumbnail description of what's in here and what goes on in here.
So basically everything in the trailer is enough that if we were to pull up to a site, we have everything we need to set up a portable shelter. So we actually have plastic that would line the walls of the shelter. We have over 70 crates inside the trailer that are easily movable. So we would roll the crates out, roll them into the building, and then line them up along the sides. We would make an isolation area. We would make a dog area. We would make a cat area that would all be separated from everything. And then in the front half of the van, so back here you actually see all of our crates. We have a tent, we have a generator, so even if we didn't have power in the facility, we still have electricity. We would be able to run the generator for as long as we needed. We have everything from power washers to wash the kennels, to vacuums to clean up after ourselves. And then on the side of the kennel, the side of the trailer over here.
You want to go back over here?
Yep.
Okay. Okay. They are super prepared. This is terrific.
So as you can see inside the trailer, we have boxes set up for each of the living quarters that the animals would be in, and inside each of those boxes would be what we would need to take care of the animals, from food scoops to scoop out the food to
Okay, we ready? I guess we're ready. Franklin Township, we have had so much fun with the sun today that we are back yet once again. And here we also, in addition to Kira Wright from the Somerset County CART organization for pet disaster relief, we also are joined by Tom O'Connor. And Tom, please give us an overview of what you are seeing that you are offering to the community, and also a little explanation as to what you and Kira are holding.
Okay, one of the missions that we have as part of our CART is to make sure we educate people about what to do in a disaster so that they can take care of themselves before they have to end up in a shelter where we're going to be helping shelter their animals. So we try and give out pamphlets on how to prepare for an emergency and try and educate them what to do before they have to put themselves in a bad situation. The other mission we have is that if there is an emergency, we will be setting up an animal shelter that is fully trained personnel that are going to take care of the best possible care for your animal while you're in the shelter next to us or very close to where we're settled, so that you can come and take and see your animal in case of that. So that's the other mission we have, but we prefer that you don't have to end up in a shelter, that you're prepared before that occurs.
Right, that goes for humans as well. And I noticed both of you are holding the evacuation kit checklists. One is for dogs, one is for cats. It has the complete rundown of everything that you need to be prepared in case of an emergency. Now, how would someone actually get a copy of this?
They can actually go right to our website, which is www.co.somerset.newjersey.us/cart, C-A-R-T.
Okay, perfect. Well, I think we've covered a lot of ground here, ladies and gentlemen of Franklin Township. We thank you for your time once again. We are here once again at St. Matthias, St. Francis Day, where it is all about the animals, St. Francis being the patron saint of animals. And this is PJ Parker saying, have a blessed rest of the summer day in October, and we will be